if we can make this thing run. That one's a little rusty.
That one's full of rust. That one and that one.
These two seem kind of seasy.
Yeah.
Coil bind, that's good. Yep, it's getting easier. Oh, I actually don't get it. Oh.
Did you hear that?
They're all going up and down.
See oil coming out anywhere?
No.
Should I keep going?
Familiar sound.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the motor.
You haven't heard that in 35 years,
5
right?
years, yeah. I'm gonna try my best to hang on here.
Okay, yeah, we're trying to keep
I got
it
a wife
moving.
at home doing this little number at the top of her feet. So Lori, I'm coming home soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Junkyard Dig, sponsored by Teng Tools. Today, we're here for part 3 of the Mopar Revival. We got a 70 satellite we've been wrenching on for a couple days now. I'm here with my buddy Luke, Thunderhead 289. That is Luke, I am Kevin. Don't mix them up. And we're gonna see if we can get this thing running for the first time in 35 years. Let's begin. What we have is new plugs, everything for ignition we might need to get that going, some oil, so once we get it running, get a little heat into it, let that old oil kind of all settle at the bottom, then we can drop it so we get all the sludge and stuff.
Yeah,
Mix
honestly,
it all up and get it out.
It looks pretty good.
It does.
Normally we wouldn't try and do that, but this stuff looks pretty good in this engine, as odd as that sounds.
I'm gonna start putting plugs in. Luke's gonna do ignition ordeals.
Just gonna see what we have and what we don't have.
There's not much to talk about on the side of plugs, so I'm gonna have Luke show you guys a couple things about ignition.
Alright, so while Kevin's getting the spark plugs in here, I'm just testing out our ignition components just in the meantime. So right now what we have is our ignition on, so our coil is currently energized, and then I've run an auxiliary wire from the negative side of the coil, and basically what I'm going to do is drag it across the ground, and this does the same thing that the points do in that I'm interrupting the ground of the coil and it'll discharge to the spark plug that we just dropped if it's functioning the way it's supposed to. So as you can see here, as we drag it across, it's making intermittent ground, and if you look really close to the spark plug, you can see that it is actually sparking. I don't know if that shows up on the camera there. So if you can see it there, it's always going to be a very light spark.
It's really weak on that plug, so. But it is there, so our coil's good.
Our coil is good, and you can do this to test out any ignition coil. They all pretty much work the same way. We know we're good there, so we'll clean up our points, and I've already taken our distributor cap and ohmed out all the plug wires to the terminals in the cap, so we know that those are good. So we're getting pretty close. It's looking pretty promising at the moment.
Do you perchance have any videos that they could find online of how ignition systems work, or anything like that?
You know, I sure do. So if you want to leave a link,
Ding, right here.
Oh, it's there.
It's there. It's on the corner. Let's see if we have power to our points.
Well, you can hear it. I don't know if you can see it.
Ah, there's power there. So yeah, we have power to the points. The points just aren't any good. What do you say we try to sand them and then change them if we have to?
It's always fun to try and use as much for the original parts as we can, so we'll try and sand them up and see if they'll live.
Absolutely.
So if you want to ever test out if your vacuum advance is indeed working, basically you pull vacuum on this canister, and it has a lever attached to the advance mechanism, and when it's doing what it's supposed to, when you put a vacuum on this, it should advance the ignition timing, and you should not be able to pull air through it. So I can pull air right through this thing, so that's obviously hosed. So when we run today, if we do get to that point, we're going to be on only our mechanical timing, which is fine, we can live with. But for your cars that you really care about, that's always a quick way you can check if your vacuum canister is working. You should not be able to pull air through it, and when you suck on the hose that's attached to it, as awful as that sounds, the mechanism should advance. You're looking at me real Stream's like, oh God.
So, if you guys want to learn a bunch of things / see the next part of this series, go subscribe to Thunderhead 289. Because that's what you literally need to do if you're on my channel. It's a 2-part channel. It's me and Luke. We do a lot of stuff together. We do a lot of stuff apart to really get a hold of all the content for free here on YouTube. Free. Go head over to Thunderhead 289 and hit that subscribe button. Alright, so there's one valve cover tightened. Gonna wing the other one down. Luke's gonna put together our ignition system. And we'll see if we got some spark to this thing. / see if that really old starter has enough power to crank.
Alright, so we're going to check for spark. We have the whole ignition system hooked up at this point. We have one of the old spark plugs here hooked to just one of the plug wires, and if everything's good, when we turn the engine over, we should see spark.
We also are testing if the starter can crank an engine under compression. First try. Here we go.
Oh,
that is a potato of a starter.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what he said. It cranks slow. Alright, let's try it again. I got a different ground. I didn't see anything in particular. This is what's happening. Hang on.
The ballast resistor's pulling too much out.
Well, when you turn your key, this is how Fords work. The ballast resistor is factored out because the voltage drop drops it low enough so that if you have a ballast resistor in line, it's not enough voltage for things to work right. And then once you let off the starter, it goes back where it's going through the ballast, and then it's fine. So I wonder if, since we're doing it like that, why don't, when you touch it, I turn the key
to start.
Right.
Oh, science.
And I mean, I could just be blowing smoke, but
really?
Yep. I don't have enough power to crank it either.
That should still make noise at that speed.
I don't know.
That's a decent. Why is there smoke coming out from inside the cab?
Unhook the battery.
Done.
Yep. I think that is the end of us using the key.
It's coming out from the column.
Yeah, it's coming from the column. Can't make this stuff up. That's a good catch.
The smoky satellite.
Okay, yeah.
I've
now
been waiting for that to happen on a revival too. This is like a car of firsts.
So yeah, I think we're gonna go back to hot wiring it.
Yep, I agree. Oh, look out! There's more smoke over there.
Oh,
a
man.
fire.
Campfire has an electrical problem.
So, what we got here is our lamp chain.
This is bad.
And our momentary switch. Here we go.
It's turning it over too slow to do anything.
I don't know if we have spark. We might have to replace those points. Oh! Did you ever clean that?
No, that'll do it.
That'll do it. Downside to the lamp chain, you gotta have both hands.
That's the only downside.
Well, the points appear to be working. I can see a spark jump them when I do this, so
Yeah,
maybe it really was just the rotor.
I was gonna say you got spark. So was the rotor hanging us up.
I guess let me check my phone and see if Dylan answered my question. Dear Dylan, are these cars known to crank at half the speed of smell? So what you said, starter is weak. So we'll try this, and then we'll go buy a new starter, I guess. Which sucks because they're like $80, but I don't know, maybe it'll fire this time. Use the enrichment modulator. That piece of sandpaper, yeah, that's it. Ready? I don't think our timing's right again.
My hair, it hurts.
That was awesome. Well, I don't think our firing order is right.
You don't think so?
Well, let's see.
We didn't
Every
change
time
it.
it's made noise, it went out the intake. Yes, I think it's wrong.
I don't know. We didn't check it, and what has happened with everything that we almost
Ever done
didn't
ever.
check?
It's
Yeah,
always
it's always been wrong.
the wrong firing order.
Yeah, I think we need to hop on the old Google and figure out which one is cylinder 1, and then maybe, you know, pull the plug, figure out which is the top dead center, you know, because we can be 180 off, and then set the timing up, and we got that one timing trick we can do, and then we should be okay. But I think we have some issues here. Probably didn't run at some point like every other thing, so someone goes and monkeys with it, and the first thing they do is turn screws on the carburetor and move the distributor 10,000 miles. So
1843652. Should have known.
it's hanging out right here, and it is at 0 right now, so it's either a mile off or it's a whole cylinder off.
Yeah. So we need to loosen up that distributor and pray to the gods
That it moves?
that it moves.
Yeah.
I do not foresee it moving. Man, wouldn't that be something? We come all this way. Everything's perfect. And we can't get the distributor to move to get the thing to run.
I think we can torch it enough, it'll move.
We'll just turn the cap.
Alright, so the first thing we gotta do is try and get the distributor free. And you know, typically with cars that sit a long time, the distributor being a dissimilar metal to the engine block, they tend to like corrode together. It becomes pretty difficult to, you know, get them to move. So we do have the bolt loose, which is amazing. So now,
Please just turn.
I know.
Please just go. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me just help you out there, guys.
I was hoping for that, but I guess not. Big surprise. This is like the last thing. The last melon. Just move it. Once it... Oh, hey, it's going though. America! Oh, dude. Okay, that
We
was...
finally got a good high five. Here, Luke. I have this huge can of penetrating oil.
Smells so good. Oh, there it is.
Yes. Okay.
That was scary, I will say.
It's on this side of the cam. So it's going to be a clockwise. So to advance it, you turn it.
Counterclockwise.
Yes.
So it was way advanced. And that's why it was coming out the intake valves.
The weird part is that the bolt was tight, and it was like that. Like someone's like, meh, tighten down. Oh, it doesn't run. Put it in the weeds.
Well, you know what most folks do? It's like they hear someone say, "Oh, just advance the distributor till it won't start anymore." You know, I don't necessarily go under that ideology. So
People say that.
that's a real thing.
Stop saying that. That's dumb.
Well, what do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Give her the carb cleaner and
Give her the old one too. All right, first noise it might make besides a fireball to the intake in a million years.
oh, it sounds like an engine now at least.
Oh, dude, here it goes.
Yeah, it's gonna do it. Oh, Luke, I know.
All right,
Hey,
go.
get something to choke it with a little.
Nah, just more fuel.
Okay.
It's so close.
I know. That starter is a champ. That went from seized to cranking it just non-stop.
I think we just need a better starter.
Kind of. Right now, with how slow the engine seems to be turning over, we did call the local O'Reilly's,
Do you guys have a starter for a 98 Dakota with a 318?
and they do have a starter that will work on this particular vehicle, even though it's not for it. So we're probably going to go and pick that up just to spin it a little quicker, but in the meantime, We've spun the engine over enough that we should have been able to see if oil was coming up to the top of our valve train, which, as you can see, we pulled a valve cover just to verify before it did fire for any length of time, and you can see that we do have oil getting to the top of the engine. That means it's moving out through everything and probably has decent oil pressure considering it was turning over so slow. With that, I think we're going to go through and just make sure our ignition timing is firing right when we want it to, and there's a method that we can go through to do that. Alright, so this is a really cool trick that you can do if it's like you're firing an engine up for the first time and you don't want to be chasing your ignition timing around. Basically, you can get it very close to where you want it to be without having to do a lot of guesswork. So what I've done is we've come to the compression stroke on cylinder 1. We have cylinder 1 spark plug out and touching to a nice clean ground. And then I've taken the crank and turned it to 10 degrees before top dead center. And what we're going to do is now turn the distributor, and when it sparks on cylinder 1, we know we're very close to 10 degrees. So now I have it retarded. We're going to advance it. And there, right there, you saw it spark. So now we know we're probably somewhere between 10 to 14 degrees before top dead center. So we know our timing is very close, and we're not going to have to monkey with the distributor to fire this engine up. We know that that's good, and we can you know, look at other things as to what might be stopping us from running the engine, if there is anything at this point. So anyway, that's just a really cool trick you can do, and you know, it works pretty well. So yeah, do you have anything to add?
Subscribe to Thunderhead 289 on YouTube.
And we're prepping to put another carburetor on here eventually. Oh, you weren't supposed to see this part.
What are you doing?
I had to make a little clearance if we were going to try and run a different carburetor. Throw that sucker. Oh, it's over by me.
You can't just take that off? Oh, it fits?
I don't know if it's close to exhaust stuff. How much are we still hitting?
No, it's not going to work.
No way I could battering ram it out of the way.
Oh, let me see your hammer.
I think you can.
Think so?
Try now. I applied some engineering.
It's getting
Ooh,
closer.
close.
It is a heat riser. Here, let's just do this. Can we cut some of this off and put it back in as a plug?
Probably.
Like if this sits on there. How much room do we have over there? None.
No, we can make it work. Hot, 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 hot. There we go. That ought to be out of the way of our adapter plate now. Nothing a little heat can't do, you know? Cooler off in a cooler. What the hell did you do over there?
I turned the crank with the wrench and it fired a cylinder. Not shitting you.
What?
It's looking pretty good, so we're just gonna
America.
hammer it over so it seals. Seals in quotes.
Good enough. Doesn't sound like the Wildcat. That's what the Wildcat sounds like. Or my butt. You decide.
The little starter that couldn't. Done.
Well, we thought we'd see if we could get this one to work, so we got a little starter fluid.
Did it work?
Nope.
This is the worst starter.
Ready for your favorite bolt?
No.
He's
Actually, there's two of them now.
not. Oh.
So it
Actually,
already
this should thread on with your fingers now.
It should be fine. It shouldn't be so bad.
Should.
It's a different size. It's a 1/2 inch.
Oh, it's probably metric.
Oh God.
What?
You gotta be kidding me!
A 9 mil. Who uses a 9 mil nut? No one. They're 8s or 10s. That's it. 9 mil's like one of those 11 and 30 seconds. You find it once in your life.
I can't even believe that that's what it was.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Like,
That one's on the remanufacturer. That's on their behalf. But this stupid starter design is on Mopar's fault. Who put the starter over here, where all the clutch linkage and everything is,
Oh,
over here you have, let's see, nothing. What? We'll hook it up and it'll crank so fast that the fan alone will pull the car off the stuff it's sitting on. Maybe this will be the time I drop the battery in and life comes out of it.
Well, at least this starter hasn't laid in mud for 30 years.
Well, probably did. But
At some point.
then it got remanufactured. And it's probably going to be a bad starter.
Oh no.
If that happens and we just burn the car down, are we in agreement of that?
I don't have a lot of faith because it had a 9mm on it. 9mm net.
Right?
10,000 times better.
It's literally going to run. All right, here we go. For the first time in 1,000 years. Did you make any of that in there?
Yes.
Rag. Oh, look.
Oh, shoot.
Let's just take the spacer off before it gets too hot. Ah! It's very much on fire, it turns out.
Cameraman even laughed. So basically what was happening with our bad starter is that the engine was cranking over so slow, and we have enough weak cylinders or cylinders with stuck piston rings that it couldn't make enough compression to actually fire those in any way, shape, or form close to properly enough to actually run. So the faster we spin it, you know, the more we can overcome that bleed down effect that we have from all of our stuck rings. So now it should spin pretty good. There you go. Like no effort.
Throw a little more down there. One more time, then we'll go get Byron and show him that this car runs for the first time in 35 years.
Yeah, just imagine if there was a carburetor on it.
Probably run pretty good. It'll probably stop catching on fire. Go to sleep. You still up the house?
Yep.
Hey, we got something to show you.
Okay, on my way out.
All right. All right, new starter's on. Ready? Yeah, until we can get a carb on it, we're gonna have it backfire all the time. But it runs.
It runs.
It runs.
It'll light off with a carburetor, or you can regulate it a little bit.
Huh.
Well, I mean, here, let's try this.
Cover up one hole.
Yeah.
There we go.
Pretty close.
Good go.
Maybe I can cover half that one. Yeah, there we go.
There.
This is a carburetor.
You may be a redneck. You survive for a carburetor. Uh-oh.
Oh man, did we lose the starter?
Hang on.
That's just the trigger. You hear it going.
If that died, you're gonna kill someone. That starter is such a pain in the ass.
That's like a very difficult starter to change, and that's me using friendly terms.
What the hell? Are you kidding me?
Oh man. But at least I feel confident enough to actually continue on with the intake.
Solenoid shot?
Well, the solenoid is alright. See, we bypass the actual solenoid and everything. We go right down to the thing. But it has like a solenoid that throws the Bindex, and when it does that, it must have a plate that contacts the cable, or the, you know, the main power for the motor or something. And somehow that's not making connectivity in there. Because it's throwing, what you're hearing is the Bindex going out, but there's no motor turning it. Well, if
we used it for 4 minutes.
it is too bad.
No car, why? You know what the problem is, Luke? There's a pentastar on this starter.
Gee dang it. Now our next phase is that.
The studs are in the way, but
I know, they are in the way at the moment.
that looks awesome. So there we go. We're gonna cut this video here. I want to thank Byron and Russell for letting us work on the car in the backyard and for being awesome hosts this whole time. Byron's gonna head back to Missouri where he's from. But he just wanted to stick around and see the car ran, and that was as close as we're gonna get for tonight because this brand new starter that we've used for 4 minutes is dead. So to see the next video, make sure you go subscribe to Thunderhead 289. It's gonna be on his channel, and we'll just keep bouncing back and forth until we have this thing to the ending point we want, whatever that might be. So I'll see you guys next time on Junkyard Digs. Thank you, Byron, for everything. Thank you for the car. Thank you guys very much.
Yep, no problem at all. Incredible work.
So these guys have been awesome hosts. They're hilarious to be around. It's been a great week, and we're only on day 2. So we'll see you next time on Junkyard Digs. Peace. Teng Tools.
No.